Something here just doesn't add up. Something here just doesn't go down. Something here just doesn't add up. Something here just...
Okay, I admit it. As a computer programmer, I kind of like math. So let's do some. And I promise it won't be hard. Even the reviewers who love Super Size Me could do this math if they wanted to.
Morgan Spurlock ate at McDonald's for 30 days using these rules. I will eat 3 square meals per day. I will eat everything on the menu at least once. I will only supersize a meal if they ask me. There's no such thing as a supersized breakfast, so that leaves 60 lunches and dinners. But Spurlock was only asked to supersize 9 times, which means, according to his rules, 51 lunches and dinners were not supersized. So let's put together 3 meals a day using large combinations and see what we get. For breakfast, we'll go with a bacon, egg, cheese biscuit, hash browns, and a large orange juice. For lunch, a Big Mac, large fries, and large Coke. And for dinner, a quarter pounder with cheese, large fries, and large Coke. Wait a second, that's not even 3,600 calories. In Super Size Me, Spurlock's nutritionist told him not once, but twice that he was consuming more than 5,000 calories every day. Okay, let's try again. This time we'll have an Egg McMuffin, large orange juice and hash browns, a Big and Tasty, large Coke and large fries, and for dinner we'll go with the filet of fish, large fries, large Coke, and what the heck, a hot fudge sundae for dessert. Isn't that strange? Even with a dessert, I'm at just over 3,600 calories. Something doesn't add up. Well, let's try a supersized day. We'll have a sausage, egg, cheese McGriddle, large OJ and hash browns, followed by a Big Mac, supersized fries, supersized Coke, and for dinner, a double quarter pounder with cheese, supersized fries, supersized Coke. That's a lot of calories. But I'm still 800 calories short of what Spurlock consumed every day, and I just supersized 2 meals. To get my calorie count even close to Spurlockian proportions, I have to supersize my lunch, supersize my dinner, then throw in 2 desserts. So how did a guy who claimed to eat 3 meals per day and only supersize 9 meals in an entire month manage to consume more than 5,000 calories each and every day?
Hi, I'm working on a documentary that's sort of a follow-up to Super Size Me. I was wondering if there's some way I can get a hold of Morgan Spurlock. I need to see his food log. Hi, I'm doing sort of a documentary follow-up to Super Size Me. I was wondering if there's a contact number for The Con, Morgan Spurlock's production company. I was hoping to see his food log. Okay, what's your email address? I would like to get a hold of the food diary that Spurlock kept during that month.
Several journalists have asked Spurlock to let them see his supersized food log. The answer in every case was no. One of Spurlock's agents asked me to put my request in writing, so I did, and I never got a response.
At the end of Super Size Me, Spurlock called upon McDonald's to get rid of those supersized meals. This annoys me. You know, if McDonald's wants to sell me a bucket of French fries for 50 cents and I want to buy them, that's between me and McDonald's. It's really none of his business. And by the way, McDonald's did stop supersizing a couple years ago, and I don't remember seeing this headline. And Spurlock somehow managed to gain 25 pounds in 30 days in spite of the fact that he only supersized an average of twice a week, which means supersizing was not the problem, not if he followed his own rules, which common sense and a little basic math says he didn't.
Something here just doesn't add up. Something here just doesn't go down. Something here just doesn't add up.
So how did Spurlock manage to keep such a detailed food log anyway? In Super Size Me, he delivered the shocking news that he couldn't find any nutrition information at 1/4 of the McDonald's restaurants in Manhattan. Of course, he also showed us that Manhattan is practically littered with McDonald's, which means you could just walk a couple of blocks to another McDonald's and look at their nutrition menu. You'd even get a little exercise that way. Nutrition information is also available on the McDonald's website. You can even download it and print it from your home computer. But wait! Using a large, ugly building to represent poor people, Spurlock told us that only half of all Americans have internet access at home and wondered, what are these people supposed to do? Well, I suppose they could go to a library or a school or an internet cafe or one of the thousands of other places with internet access. Or, here's another idea.
You know, back before computers and the internet, a lot of us were pretty adept at using these low-tech compact data repositories, otherwise known as books.
I went to the smallest bookstore in my area and found 7 books that list full nutrition information for all the fast food chains. There it is, everything from Arby's to Pizza Hut to Wendy's. So it turns out nutrition information is actually pretty easy to find. And if you really want to lose weight, you will find it. But even without all that information, are people really getting fat on fast food without knowing why?
I have here a double quarter pounder with cheese, a large order of fries, and a large Coke.
Right.
Now, is that a high-calorie meal or a low-calorie meal?
Definitely have to say a high-calorie meal. I would say that's a hell of a lot.
A hell of a lot.
Very high.
Very high.
Very high.
I believe honest is a high calorie.
High calorie.
I know it's a high-calorie meal.
Give me a rough guess. How many calories here?
I would say maybe in both carrots.
Just in the carrots, yeah. Combined. Large order of carrots.
I would say maybe 25 calories.
Okay. How many calories in there?
I'd say maybe 500.
Definitely high calorie.
Definitely high calorie?
Yeah.
Oh, it's high calorie. As many calories as you can get into a meal.
A lot.
It's a lot of calories.
A lot.
And how did you know that?
I just know.
Actually, just common sense, pretty much.
Common sense.
I'd have to say so, yeah.
It's a cheeseburger and fries.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Like the stuff up here.
Yeah.
Now, how did you know that? Did Ronald McDonald tell you?
No, no clown has ever told me that it's a high-calorie meal.
With the fries and the burger and the drink, it just seems like a high-calorie meal.
If you ate like this all the time and then sat around all day, what do you think would happen?
I would be very fat.
If you ate like this 4 or 5 times a day and then sat around all day, what would happen to you?
Get fat.
You would look like Oprah back in the 80s.
I didn't even see your mouth move.
In fact, this ability to recognize high-calorie food seems to be nearly universal.
And where are you from?
Los Angeles, California.
I'm originally from South Carolina, actually.
I'm from Holland. Massachusetts.
Where are you from?
In Japan. My name is Natasha.
Natasha?
Natasha. Yes.
Where are you from?
Russia.
Can you say moose and squirrel?
What?
Where are you from?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Moose and squirrel.
Okay. Okay, sure. You and I know high-calorie food when we see it. But when I've discussed the merits of Super Size Me with my friends and associates, I've noticed a curious pattern. Almost everyone who really likes that movie shares a common and dearly held belief.
One of the things that struck me most about Super Size Me was that there were these images of these African-American teens, and they were talking about how much they like McDonald's. And there's this implication of like, oh, look how stupid these kids are. They don't even know what's good for them. And that, you know, we have to really put the onus on McDonald's to take care of them because these kids can't make decisions for themselves. Well, you know, who is Morgan Spurlock or any of us to sort of determine what somebody else can and cannot eat, or to know what other people know is good or not good for them? Engendered in that is also a certain kind of paternalism. And once again, it's a paternalism that's directed at the poor, at minorities. Somehow or another that those people can't make decisions for themselves, and that there's some other force that needs to come in and make decisions for them. When in fact, they're very happy to make decisions for themselves. In fact, the last thing they want is somebody else to come in and make decisions for them.
No, I'm a leader, not a follower.
Hi.
Hi, can I help you, sir?
Yeah, I'd like a 5-piece chicken selects and a medium Diet Coke.
Okay, sir, would you like some fries with that?
No, thank you.
Okay, that'll be for here to go, sir.
That's for here.
Okay.
Did you see how easy that was? Do you want some fries with that? No, thank you. When I was a stand-up comedian, I heard the hack joke over and over, what part of a chicken does a McNugget come from? Yes, we all know there are no McNuggets on a chicken. There are also no sausages on a pig.
Everybody's got a lawyer, and the lawyers need to make their fees. They say they use their legal might.
To most of us, the idea that people are too stupid to know that sodas and French fries are fattening sounds like a load of baloney. But if you sue people for a living, that sounds more like an opening argument. In Super Size Me, Super Sue Meister John Banzaf, who desperately wants to squeeze gold out of the golden arches, explained why it's McDonald's fault when people get fat.
It's a sudden change. Most of this obesity epidemic has occurred since last January. Now, what's causing it? Well, it can't be the mom-and-pop restaurants. They've been around for hundreds of years.
It can't be the food we're eating at home. We've been eating at home for hundreds of years. I think it's fair to point the big gun at McDonald's. They're the ones who lure kids in. They're the ones with the playlands. You know, in a lot of areas, there are no playgrounds. You have to go to McDonald's. Don't you just love lawyer logic? Well, let's take them one by one. We can't blame the sit-down restaurants. They've been around for hundreds of years. When my parents went out to a restaurant, it wasn't for low-calorie food. They went out for a creamy salad, steak, lobster, a baked potato with butter and sour cream, all washed down with a bottle of wine and probably a dessert to follow. The difference is they only went out for a big dinner 10 or 15 times a year, and if I went with them, it was probably my birthday. Today, Americans eat out more than anybody in the world, and the whole family goes along. The restaurant business is booming. The only industry that employs more people is government, and we give restaurants our money on purpose. In fact, a study conducted by the University of Hawaii concluded that when kids go to a traditional sit-down restaurant, they end up consuming more calories than when they go to McDonald's or any other fast food joint. We can't blame meals at home. We've been eating meals at home forever. Rip Van Winkle, call your office. Somebody's been sleeping under your tree.
With over 40% of American women now working full or part-time, plus having kids, simply women's role as food providers and food preparers has changed. Most women simply do not have a lot of time and energy to prepare the types of meals that, say, June Cleaver did in the 1950s. Food manufacturers, recognizing this fact, started putting together more prepackaged types of food. And the largest growth in the food industry has come in these pre-prepared dinners and pre-prepared meals.
In 1978, only 8% of all homes had a microwave oven. Today, nearly everybody does. When dinner time rolls around, we buy it and nuke it, or we pick it up and take it home. The restaurant and food industries didn't cause this trend, they're just responding to it. Oh, and by the way, they're giving us more of what we want, free time. And now for my favorite bit of lawyer logic. They're the ones who lure kids in. They're the ones with the playlands. You know, in a lot of areas, there are no playgrounds. You have to go to McDonald's. Is that supposed to make me mad at McDonald's? Listen to what he just said. In some areas, the federal government didn't provide a playground, state government didn't provide a playground, local government didn't provide a playground. Ronald McDonald did. Where I live, it can be 105 degrees in August. Parents flock to the McDonald's playland because it's air-conditioned and it's safe. I talk to the other parents and we all have the same problem. The kids are so anxious to play, they don't want to eat. Of course, the real reason we can blame the fast food restaurants is that they're giving us too much food for too little money.
I'm forced to eat this food all week long because I have been brainwashed since I was like 5.
I mean, it takes years to look like this.
It does.
And I've worked on it.
And
I just got done eating 3 hot dogs.
The reason why Americans have gained an average of 8 to 10 pounds over the past 20 years is not because McDonald's is supersizing their value meals. It's how much they're eating in between meals. It's how much they're eating in their cars. It's